Coming up on Global Business, fostering connections, Chinese Premier Li Qiang addresses the China-ASEAN Summit in Jakarta, emphasizes on strong bilateral ties. The 2023 China International Fair for Trade and Services concluded in Beijing today. Let's take a closer look at the tangible accomplishments. Journey to the West. We take you to the Silk Road International Cultural Expo underway in Gansu Province, where China's ancient culture stuns the world again. This is Good Evening from Beijing and welcome to Global Business on CGTN. I'm Lily Lu. Chinese Premier Li Qiang has emphasized the strong friendship and common development shared by China and ASEAN over the past decade. He made the remarks when attending the 26th China-ASEAN meeting in Jakarta on Wednesday. Li proposed 4 key areas for cooperation: building an economic growth center and enhancing connectivity, promoting collaboration in emerging industries such as new energy vehicles and photovoltaics, maintaining regional peace and advancing the code of conduct in South China Sea, and expanding people-to-people and cultural exchanges. ASEAN leaders welcomed his attendance and also praised the positive impact of China-ASEAN cooperation on regional peace and stability. And they committed to strengthening cooperation and addressing global challenges such as climate change. The meeting resulted in joint statements on cooperation based on the Belt and Road Initiative, along with agreements in various fields. 2024 was also declared as the China-ASEAN Year of People-to-People Exchange. Premier Li Qiang also called for a stronger cooperation between Southeast Asian nations and East Asian partners. He was addressing a summit in Jakarta, which involved leaders of ASEAN member states and 3 East Asian nations. They are Japan, South Korea, and China. He said that both regions share common interests and stressed the need to advance regional economic integration, upgrade supply chains, and also deepen cooperation in various fields. Leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation in trade and the low-carbon transition. The summit issued a joint statement on developing an electric vehicle ecosystem. And our reporter Robert Ling Purba is in Jakarta, and he's here with more.
Chinese Premier Li Qiang has met with ASEAN leaders, and he says that Beijing hopes for a good exchanges between China and ASEAN, and he's also talked about nurturing relations between the two. Now, he says that sincerity is key and that trust is the bridge. And China-ASEAN last year has a trade of about $970 billion US dollars, and the green ecosystem and sustainability is pushed also in the agenda. Now, the Chinese Premier, Mr. Li Qiang, also on the ASEAN Plus 3 summit, as he says, he clarifies that regarding the discharge of the nuclear contaminated water from Japan's Fukushima nuclear plant, calling on Japan to handle the matter responsibly, as the water dumping concerns people's health and also marine ecological environment. Robert Purba, CGTN, Jakarta.
Well, the ASEAN remained China's top trading partner during the first 6 months of the year, maintaining robust growth. Bilateral trade exceeded 3 trillion yuan, or $428 billion US dollars. That is up 5.4% on a yearly basis. While the ASEAN contributes over 15% to China's foreign trade, Chinese exports to ASEAN surged by 8.6%, totaling 1.8 trillion yuan, while imports increased by 1% to 1.3 trillion yuan. In the direct investment sector, there were over 6,500 Chinese companies situated in ASEAN countries. Bilateral investments have surpassed 380 billion US dollars in the initial 7 months of this year. And the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed rail project is nearing its completion. This project represents a synergy between China's Belt and Road Initiative and Indonesia's global maritime fulcrum strategy. For more on this, here's a report from CGTN's Zhao Yunfei.
I'm at the Jakarta's Halim station, where the leaders of China and Indonesia have taken a ride on the highly anticipated Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway. It's a signal of the completion of the first high-speed train in Southeast Asia, which will soon take into operation. Chinese Premier Li Qiang and Indonesia's coordinator for cooperation with China, Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, took a ride on the train. With a speed of 350 kilometers per hour, the train has adopted techniques from China. It was the first Chinese high-speed railway that was built overseas with whole-of-supply chains. The Jakarta-Bandung High-Speed Rail is a landmark cooperation project promoted by the top leaders of China and Indonesia. The route connects Indonesia's capital Jakarta and its fourth largest city, Bandung, cutting the journey from 3 hours to 40 minutes. The two countries believe that the new infrastructure will support the well-being of local people and regional development. Zhao Yunfei, CGTN, Jakarta, Indonesia.
And we have more to come here on Global Business. The 2023 China International Fair for Trading Services concluded in Beijing today. Let's take a closer look at the tangible accomplishments.
CIFTIS, the China International Fair for Trading Services, the only comprehensive global platform bringing together stakeholders engaged in trading services in 12 sectors.
Join us to see how this year's fair is promoting deeper business cooperation.
And how the future of finance in China is on display here at CIFTIS.
Check out how we can cut our own carbon footprints through technologies.
Explore new travel services and global cultures.
Bonjour à tous, nous sommes maintenant au Parc Shogang de Beijing.
Les presentamos un comercio de servicios innovador, inclusivo y sostenible.
ستستخدم الشركات العالمية هذه المنصة لإجراء تبادلات معمقة مع مزيد من الشركات الصينية.
Китайская международная ярмарка торговли услугами покажет платы сотрудничества в рамках «Путь и пути».
CGTN will speak to guests from 51 countries and 24 international organizations about the path of open development and mutual benefit.
Catch highlights of the Global Trading Services Fair. Live from Beijing, September the 2nd to the 6th, only on CGTN.
China's International Fair for Trading Services has wrapped up in the Chinese capital city of Beijing. The 5-day event, which ended today, attracted thousands of domestic and international enterprises. With the global economy still recovering from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, our reporter Jun Chunying reports on the legacy that event hopes to leave behind.
Over 2,400 enterprises and representatives from more than 80 countries and international organizations wrapped up their journey at this year's China's International Fair for Trade and Services, or CIFTIS, right here. As the first edition of the fair since China brought its strict COVID-19 measures to an end, this year's event has been bigger in scale than past editions. The proportion of international participants exceeded 20%, providing more opportunities for global enterprises to integrate into China's services market.
But it's been a great experience. The event's been absolutely amazing. We've been brought here as part of the UK Pavilion to be able to showcase our technologies, and hopefully we can look to find ways of being able to create contacts here and be part of the progression where we try and work with the likes of China, with the UK, to be able to forge a relationship, and hopefully there can be many more off the back of this.
Driving the innovation, digitalization, and green development of the services trade have been the biggest highlights at this year's CIFTIS. Companies showcase their achievements in cutting-edge technologies, from chips and quantum metrology to satellite remote sensing, artificial intelligence, and digital healthcare. Many have also promised to pursue green goals.
My impression of CIFTIS actually is green. And this year we see a lot of enterprises, when they talk about their topics, they all cover ESG and the green finance and green products and also green energy.
This 5-day mega event has sent out a clear message that China is committed to further opening up, embracing more opportunities of cooperation with both developed and developing countries to achieve more win-win results and to boost global economic recovery. Zheng Chunying, CGTN, Beijing.
Our correspondent Olivia He spent the past 6 days exploring various thematic exhibitions of the CIFTIS, and today she will guide us through the Supply Chain and Transportation Services exhibition.
The Supply Chain and Transportation Services exhibition at the CIFTIS showcased various logistics platforms and equipment manufacturing companies. The exhibition highlights the advancement of smart transportation, including autonomous driving, road transportation, shipping, and express delivery.
One notable participant at the exhibition is Beijing Subway.
Here they showcase the development achievements of Beijing Rail Transit in recent years. Beijing Subway focused on displaying its more than 50 years of development history, highlighting its technical standards and achievements. This involves presenting the Beijing Metro Line, the first subway line in China, along with the advancements made in building a smart subway in recent years.
Now you can get to almost anywhere in Beijing by taking the subway, and each line now has dual temperature carriage modes to cope with high temperatures.
In addition to technological displays, the exhibition also featured interactive experience facilities, such as a VR driving machine. Visitors can undergo intelligent training for safe driving on the spot. Wow, it feels so real. The road conditions is a bit complex as I'm driving on snow.
We use autonomous driving and virtual reality technology to create immersive digital experiences, combining dangerous scenarios such as drunk driving, side braking, and blind spots at intersections. This improves drivers' awareness of driving safety and reduces traffic accident rates.
Another highlight of the exhibition is the express service sector, with the leading companies such as EMS, SF Express, United Postal Service, and DHL showcasing their digital technologies and cutting-edge products in the industry. For example, EMS introduced recyclable envelopes, boxes, and items with intelligent identity locks, ensuring only the intended recipient can open them. SF Express showcased smart delivery robots that navigate and avoid obstacles, improving parcel delivery efficiency. YTO demonstrated expertise in cross-border supply chain logistics with a vast international network, covering 6 continents, over 150 countries and regions, and having nearly 1,000 agents worldwide. Olivia He, CGTN, Beijing.
Since its establishment, CIFTIS has dedicated itself to advancing the harmonious growth of global trade and regional economies worldwide, with Southeast Asia being a pivotal component of its international service network. Let's now cross over to our correspondent Mira Lu in Singapore for more insights on the collaborations between China and Southeast Asia in construction services and related engineering services. Mira, could you elaborate a bit more on the collaboration in construction services and also engineering services between China and Southeast Asia?
Hello, Lily. Now, since I'm based in Singapore, so I will speak of the situation in Singapore first. Now, the city-state is always upgrading itself, building public housing projects, industrial parks, hospitals, and schools, as well as its ever-growing underground rail network, the MRT. The construction sector in Singapore grew more than 20% in 2021 from 2017. In 2022, the sector contributed around 16.8 billion Singapore dollars, or 2.9% to the country's GDP, and employs around 11.2% of all workers. Chinese construction companies are amongst the biggest player here. Now, if you just drive around town and you will see several Chinese companies undertaking major projects. Take it, for example, China Construction South Pacific Development, the Singapore subsidiary of China State Construction Engineering Cooperation, is a big player here. Established in Singapore 30 years ago, the company has been involved in over 200 projects, including healthcare, education, infrastructure, and public housing. Another name you often see near the MRT sites is Shanghai Tunnel Engineering. After entering the city-state in 1996, the civil engineering firm has grown as one of the top contractors in the local underground transport sector. Now, beyond Singapore, China has been very much involved in Southeast Asia's infrastructure development. In fact, Southeast Asia is the biggest benefactor from the Belt and Road Initiative. According to a UK think tank, IISS, there were 131 BRI projects in the region between 2013 to 2021. These projects have been concentrated in Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Although there had been some disruption due to the pandemic, China has renewed its commitment at the 2022 ASEAN Summit in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Among these new investment is a $1.6 billion expressway to be built from Phnom Penh to Ba Viet at the Cambodian-Vietnamese border, and financial support for a rail link between Phnom Penh, Bangkok, and Vientiane, Laos, from which a high-speed rail link has already been constructed into China. Lily.
Oh, great insights. Thank you very much. That's our correspondent Mira Liu in Singapore for us. And now my colleague Michael Wan is in the studio with us. Michael, you had been covering the CIFTIS 2023 for the past, 5-6 days.
Yeah.
It was a very packed week for you, but you have been actually covering this event for 3-4 years in a row now. So what really CIFTIS means for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I think the significance is that this is a window that shows China's commitment to high-level opening up, because especially in this world of extreme economic uncertainty, Lily, I feel this is China proactively showcasing the massive opportunities that are still available in terms of further growth points for the world. We have, of course, high inflation in the world right now. We have high interest rates, and we could have those interest rates at a high level for longer. So where are those growth points for businesses? Well, China, and using CIFTIS as its platform, showcasing the massive opportunities that still exist in China's burgeoning services sector. And often we think about China, we think about China as a global manufacturing powerhouse, right? We think of China, of course, as the world's largest trading nation when it comes to physical goods, but its services trade last year came in at over $800 billion US. It's up 13% on an annual basis. And if we break it down, China is the world's second largest service importer. So that gives you a sense of the scale of service demand here in China. And I always view China's service sector as sort of the next investment frontier for businesses. So after reform and opening up, companies might have came in, invested in China's manufacturing sector. Well, services are next, because as Chinese consumers and families become more prosperous, they're going to demand better services, more innovative services as well. And if you have that creative and innovative service, they're going to come. And one example I really love at CIFTIS is the transformation of Shougang Park, right? As we know, Shougang Park, this used to be an industrial base. It was Shougang Capital Group, so this used to make iron and steel, and now they converted a blast furnace to make steel and iron into a metaverse theme park, which I think is absolutely innovative, absolutely creative idea. So if you have that creative service idea, I think Chinese consumers will definitely open up their wallets for you.
I love the idea of Shougang Park. It all looks very cool and very contemporary as well. You have been in the park for the past, let's say, 5 days. What really stood out for you?
Well, I think it's definitely the application of technology with services. So it's not just about the display of services, but how do you actually apply the technologies into the service sector and then create these new and innovative business models. Again, that metaverse theme park I was telling you about. So you have 5G, of course, you have massive computing power, you have artificial intelligence, you've got virtual reality, you all combine that into one, and then you apply laser tag into it. So think about, for example, wearing a virtual reality headgear. So you're playing, for example, first-person shooter games, 2 versus 2, duking it out in the virtual world, but then you're running around in the real world. So this is what I mean by applying technology into services. We see, for example, blockchain being applied into finance at a massive scale at CIFTIS as well. We were talking about China's official digital currency, the e-Chinese yuan. Well, CIFTIS is a platform definitely accelerating the adoption of that. And when you have that digital currency, so many new options opens up for you when it comes to the service sector. We have, for example, a logistics company that is a car company actually making that Robo van we were talking about. It's fully autonomous, it's fully electric, it can go around complex cityscapes, it can go up mountains, down mountains as well. And what they're also doing is they're developing this mobile EV charging robot. So it's basically logistics as a service, providing that whole logistics service for you, even though you're buying that car. So you see these innovative business models. It's not just services, because services as a whole right now accounts for about 55% of the Chinese economy. If we compare that to more advanced economies, that range stands at around 65 to 80%. So much further growth to grow when it comes to China's services sector. So if you have an innovative service idea, you apply that with technology, I think China is definitely the next investment frontier. You've got to be on the ground at CIFTIS to see it. But 155,000 square meters of exhibition area, a lot of walking around. You're going to get a lot of creative ideas when it comes to new business models.
Wow, just listening to that, I'm already looking forward to next year's CIFTIS.
Absolutely.
No, well, I'm sure you had fun, Michael. Have a good rest then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that was my colleague Michael on bringing us the latest from the CIFTIS 2023. It's been 10 years since the Belt and Road Initiative was first put forward. Over the past decade, 152 countries and 32 international organizations have signed up to the initiative. CGTN's reporters have traveled to 22 Belt and Road nations across Asia, Africa, Europe, and Latin America to uncover stories of collaboration, transformation, and people-to-people exchanges under the framework. Setting off from the Gujarat Pass that's straddling the China-Pakistan border, a team is now on a trip westward to Pakistan, Turkey, Greece, and Tanzania. And we today join our reporter Cao Chufan on her journey to Multan in Pakistan.
This is the Sakkar-Multan section of the Peshawar-Karachi motorway, or the PKM project. Kesser, an engineer who participated in its construction, proudly tells me it's one of the best roads in the country.
Riding quality is very excellent on this project.
When you mean riding quality, you mean it's a smooth ride, right?
Yes, smooth, very smooth.
I can feel that.
Yes.
Multan is a major agricultural hub of Pakistan. Local farmers are one of the major beneficiaries of the road, as the project has shortened the transportation time for fresh fruits to major cities, halving the time from Multan to Sakkar.
So I do know your family actually owns a mango farm as well.
Yes.
So you can really relate to these farmers, right?
Yes, because our mango transporting from Multan to Karachi before take so much time, but now time reduced, so it can maintain the fruit quality and freshness, so we can get in higher price.
The section of the PKM also has the country's first high-standard traffic operation center, where various aspects of the road can be monitored intelligently.
This one is the monitoring camera.
Okay.
For the 360 zoom in, zoom out, we can zoom in and zoom out and move here and here.
You would know what's happening on the road.
The PKM project serves as a major transportation artery connecting the north and south region of Pakistan. It is also a key project under the Belt and Road Initiative and the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which marks its 10th anniversary this year. Cao Chufeng, CGTN, Multan.
During the first 6 months of this year, China established itself as a crucial trading partner for Pakistan, witnessing a remarkable increase of over 20% in bilateral trade. Our reporter Juju takes you to the bustling Chinatown in Alma-Ata, Kazakhstan.
Rashid Kavanov Shaknoz is a Sinophile. She began studying Chinese at the age of 15 and went on to complete her college degree in Chongqing, China. Chinatown in Almaty, Kazakhstan is one of her favorite places to shop.
Chinese porcelain is very welcomed here. Most of these porcelain tableware are imported from China, as Kazakhstan do not produce them.
Almaty is only about 300 kilometers away from the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. That's why the food preferences of the two places are similar. Chinese ingredients are one of the best sellers here.
Да, мне нравится, я постоянно здесь и чаи беру.
I was born in Xinjiang, China, and I miss the taste of what I had when I was a child. There are all kinds of seasonings for Chinese food here.
Ну, как бы для диабетиков вот такие вот.
We both love cooking Chinese food.
Отличаются своей пикантностью.
These seasonings have diverse flavors, which make them very special.
Besides food, electronic products are also well received. Kazakhstan statistics show that electronic products top the list of Chinese exports to Kazakhstan.
Electric bags from China have been welcomed by our delivery men since the pandemic. Previously, many of them made deliveries only by walking.
Decorations for Christmas Day also take up a large area in this supermarket. Official data shows nearly 80% of global Christmas-themed products come from China.
Пока вроде и недорого.
I decorated my home with these products. They're cheap and in good quality.
Chinese products like these are becoming more and more popular in Kazakhstan. Data from China's General Administration of Customs shows trading goods between the two countries reached a record high last year, with a year-on-year increase of nearly 24%. Juju, CGTN, Alma-Ata in Kazakhstan.
The 6th Silk Road Cultural Expo commenced on Wednesday in Dunhuang, Gansu Province. This year's event places a special emphasis on cultural exchanges and the shared learning of civilization. With participation from more than 50 countries, regions, and international organizations, the two-day event will host over 1,200 attendees from both domestic and international backgrounds, engaging in a series of forums and exhibitions. Dunhuang, the host city, is renowned for its rich cultural heritage. And my colleague Michelle Vandenberg delves into Dunhuang's allure and its ability to captivate today's travelers.
In the heart of China's Gansu province, the mesmerizing city of Dunhuang beckons history lovers and adventurers alike.
As a vital stop on the Silk Road, Dunhuang was once the crossroads of commerce, culture, and ideas between the East and West. Now it's becoming one of the most popular tourism destinations in China. Data show that as of August 13th this year, 6 major scenic spots, including Mogao Caves, Mingsha Mountain, and Crescent Lake, have welcomed a total of 4.5 million tourists, an increase of 323% compared to the same period in 2022.
Deep in the heart of the Dunhuang city, the Mogao Caves stand as a testament to the passage of time. This UNESCO World Heritage Site captivates visitors with its stunning display of ancient Buddhist arts dating back over a millennium.
Besides historical landmarks, nightlife in Dunhuang is also a big attraction.
Set against the backdrop of ancient Silk Road, the Dunhuang night market is a vibrant blend of history and modern lifestyle. As dusk settles, the markets become alive with beautiful lanterns. Vendors here are proudly displaying a variety of products, from silk scarves to cute little souvenirs to handcrafted jewelries. You can almost find anything in this market.
During peak season, the market welcomes around 35,000 guests per night.
The Silk Market is not just a shopping experience. It's a journey through time, a taste of the ancient Silk Road reimagined for the modern travelers.
With these stunning historical landmarks and vibrant nightlife, it's no wonder cultural tourism consumption has become an important growth point of Gansu's economy. Meituan data shows that in July this year, summer cultural and tourism consumption has pushed up orders related to tickets and vacations, with a surge of 410% year-on-year. And orders related to hotels, bed and breakfast, leisure and entertainment have more than doubled year-on-year.
Time to get a check on some other major business headlines from around the world. A senior Bank of Japan official has dismissed the possibility of an early exit from negative interest rates as the market anticipates the gradual phasing out of the stimulus program due to a positive inflation trend. In the meantime, the official has observed an ongoing correction in the public's deflationary mindset. Australia's economy exceeded expectations with its growth in the second quarter driven by exports and investment. However, consumption remained sluggish, primarily due to increased interest rates. Retail sales in the Eurozone experienced a slight decline in July compared to June, primarily attributed to reduced purchases of automobile fuel. And with that, I'm wrapping up this edition of Global Business here on CGTN. Thanks for being with us. I'm Lily Lu in Beijing. Bye for now.